Hi, this is Lauren Baker with Search Engine Journal with Erin Sagin from WordStream.
Yeah.
So, one thing that I noticed about remarketing is that, first of all, I'll be followed around by the brands that I visit, especially Amazon, which can sometimes be interesting if I'm not making the purchase, and sometimes it can be
creepy,
annoying and creepy.
Yeah,
like I'm being stalked. At the same time, sometimes I'll notice that I'll be remarketed with an ad from a company that I haven't visited for months or weeks. And I'm not necessarily sure if that's a great or the greatest way to spend advertising budget. So, in terms of remarketing, do you sometimes find that, clients or advertisers can go a little bit over what they intended to do or from a budgetary standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that in terms of, so you brought up a good point regarding membership duration. I think that in terms of membership duration, you have to think about your products and think about the average buying cycle for them. So for some products that, require a longer, you're thinking about making that purchase, like a software, it's fine to have a really long membership duration. But for somebody with a shorter buying cycle, it just doesn't make sense. And that's where you get into the situation where you're like, why am I getting this ad?
Yeah. And it's interesting too because remarketing, it's been around for a long time, right? Yahoo had done it with Right Media for a long time and other advertising networks, but it seems to have just opened up to the paid search crowd a couple of years ago.
One of the things about remarketing is when I first started managing accounts about 3 years ago, nobody was doing it. So it was like this kind of special magic trick we pulled out of our sleeve and everyone was impressed. Now, everyone is doing it, even really small businesses who don't have marketing managers, like owners who are managing their own accounts, are running remarketing campaigns, which is awesome. But there is also some education that is required, and you bring up points about it being creepy or lasting too long. I mean, I think we could squash a lot of that and give remarketing a better name if we were thinking a little bit more about what we were doing. So education is important, but it's definitely a good tactic to use.
And what about ad creative? Because one thing I have noticed is that sometimes I'll be served the same advertisement over and over and over again, where if I'm further down the road in the buying cycle or the decision-making cycle, I would think that there's some ads and some messaging that can kind of, speak more to me based upon where I am in the funnel, so to speak. So do you switch up creative or have different messaging?
Absolutely. You have to think about who you're working with, right? If you're not thinking about your audience, then your remarketing efforts are going to waste. So there's a lot of things that you can do to tweak your creative based on where they are in the buying cycle. There's also, one of the trends I see is my clients will only want to use one or two ad formats. Which it totally kills their accounts, right? Because if you only have one or two ad formats, you're competing for very little real estate. And so your ads don't get shown. So one thing that's important is even if you only have limited collateral and you can only create one or two ads, expand them and ensure that you're using all of the ad formats, and you'll automatically be sweeping up a lot more territory.
Well, also speaking about ad formats, everyone processes information in a different way. So there's also video, right? I mean, you can remarket within YouTube as well.
There is so much that Google is doing with video. They have RLSA, so a search. There's tons of things you can do. So for a lot of people, you can take remarketing on the smaller level, and then as you start to get comfortable with it, really amplify your efforts.
Great. And what types of customers or clients do you typically work with at WordStream?
To be honest, we have everybody. We primarily work with small businesses, so a lot of small agencies and advertisers. You can think of plumbers, locksmiths, people like that who really need to be running PPC. They just haven't done it in the past and don't have necessarily the budgets to hire somebody to do it.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Erin. Really enjoyed sitting down and learning a little bit more about remarketing. And again, Erin Sagin with WordStream. This is Lauren Baker, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I know at your company you focus a lot on long-term SEO for your clients. Can you kind of go into that and why it's so important?
So there's a lot that's happening in SEO, and I think that when we talk about long-term success, we usually try to think
that need to be reviewed. How can you do this easily? Simple. Link Patrol scans your entire site. Link Patrol gives you a breakdown of all the authors, domains, and anchor text associated with your